Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
Fly ball deep right, going back. Brennan on the track at the wall. See ya! That one's drilled to right field. Did he get enough? He got enough. A home run for Calhoun, and the Yankees lead 3-2.
Today is May 2nd, 2023, and it's Game 2 between the Guardians and the Yankees. Harrison Bader was back in the lineup, and Gerrit Cole was on the mound with one mission: even the series. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
If you follow this podcast, by now you've heard of Game Time. It's the fastest growing ticket app in the world for a reason. What Game Time is an app that allows you to buy last-minute tickets to local events at the lowest rate possible. So let's say the Yankees have an off night and you decide, hey, I want to go catch a comedy show. I want to go see a band play. I want to go see a hockey game. You just hop on the Game Time app and you can get a really good deal very quickly and save a lot of money. Use the code NYY Recaps to save even more money because you'll get $20 off your first purchase. I recently used it. I try not to have ads for anything that I don't endorse personally, and I gotta say, it's a great experience. It's very simple to use. Use the code NYY Recaps on the Game Time app and get the lowest price on last-minute tickets guaranteed. All right. Finally, the losing streak, is over. 4 losses in a row, and the Yankees pick up a much-needed win to even up the series. It's nice to see everybody in the chat on a night where we're not having a collective mental breakdown. Yankees have even the series, and tomorrow they got a chance to make it 2 out of 3 and win a series and give themselves a little bit of momentum. We do have some bad news that we got to get to before we get to the recap. Got some news before the game. In case you missed it, Lou Trevino, who was traded to the Yankees at the end of last season, is getting Tommy John surgery. He's going to be out for the year. That means that every pitcher that Brian Cashman acquired at the trade deadline last year either has had or will have surgery within roughly 9 months of the trade. And also Andrew Benintendi, as Brian Hoke pointed out before the game, also had surgery. So pretty much everybody who got traded to the Yankees ended up getting surgery. That's unbelievable. Also, Carlos Rodon is going to get more tests on his back. They said that his throwing program, his rehab, has been stalled. Apparently, he says his back doesn't hurt. There's, quote, no pain. It just doesn't feel right. It's not 100%.
A what?
So the MRI and the CT scan don't show anything, and it doesn't hurt, but you can't pitch because it doesn't feel right. Look, I get being careful, but you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And we've seen this mystery ailment before with Carl Pavano. I actually think it's just aging. I think he's aging a little bit, and he's got to get used to it. Take some Advil and see what you can give us. At this point, I will take 80% of Carlos Rodon over 100% of Clark Schmidt every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Your team needs you. If it doesn't hurt, you got to find a way to pitch, or else New Yorkers are going to start to question your commitment. Man up, put on the big boy underpants, and get to work. You know how many people probably in this chat go to work every day with an aching back? I'm sorry, it may not feel right, but we need you, buddy. And you're getting paid to pitch, not to rehab. The hope for tonight was that Gerrit Cole would get back on track, or get the Yankees back on track, I should say, and essentially carry you to victory, because sometimes he just dominates the Guardians, like he did in the playoffs a couple years ago with 13 strikeouts. Came into the game 5-0, 1.11 ERA. So you're thinking, should be a pretty good night. But right away, it was pretty clear that he didn't have it. He worked the first 2 scoreless innings, but he was walking guys. He was missing spots, just was not as sharp. Third inning, they got a couple of runs. And quite frankly, when you're down 2-0 with this team, it almost feels like 10-0.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He did settle back down. He worked a scoreless 4th and 5th, but he was already at 94 pitches. Wasn't sure if he was going to stay in the game. Yankees offense had 1 hit to back him up at that point. Harrison Bader did make a very nice catch in center field. A line drive, tough play, only had a 55% catch probability, but he made a diving catch to rob a hit. Nice job. Bottom 5, Oswaldo Cabrera smoked a line drive off of the Guardians pitcher Tanner Bybee. Good hustle, ended up on second base, but he got stranded. Cole was done after 6 innings, 107 pitches, final line, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. I thought he did just fine. Didn't have his best stuff tonight, and he walked more guys than he usually does. But again, no home runs. And I would say it's probably his worst outing of the year, and it was 6 innings and 2 runs. His ERA after tonight is 1.35. So a lot of good things to say about Gerrit Cole this season. You know, even on an off night, he still keeps the ball in the ballpark. 6th inning, Yankees finally answer back.
There it goes. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Anthony Volpe.
Spectacular.
3rd home run of the season. Oppo Boppo. Look, he continues to hit the ball harder every single day. I looked up his StatCast numbers, and his average exit velocity is now better than the league average. And his hard hit percentage is creeping up towards league average. And that was before his next at-bat, which he also hit a line drive. So his walk percentage is elite. His sprint speed is elite. We know he's an elite base runner. You can see why he's got a very high ceiling. Again, just 21 years old. We got to be patient. What's this kid going to be like when he's 24 and he's stronger? A lot of those warning track shots, those shots off the wall, they're going to go out of the ballpark. He's going to be more comfortable with big league pitchers. He's going to be a better, more rounded player. He's still getting better. As Aaron Boone said when he made the team, he said there's still a lot of development to do, but he feels that they should do it at the big league level. And we're seeing that. We're seeing the development in real time. And it's actually really fun to watch. It's good to see a kid get a shot and make something of it, especially a local kid. Torres followed up with a double, and Rizzo lined a base hit to left field to tie the game.
Most impressive.
And then Big Willie Calhoun getting jiggy with it. Big Willie style.
There it goes. That ball is high. It is far.
Solo shot to give the Yankees the lead. Clutch line drive home run into the right field stands. First home run as a member of the Yankees. And it was extremely clutch. Top 8, Guardians had a runner on first, and they tried to bunt. Ended up going right back to Peralta, and he almost threw it away. But Anthony Volpe made a game-saving play, in my opinion, at second base. He picked it. If he doesn't make that play, it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out. But at the end of that play, it was runner on first, 1 out, no big deal. Mike King comes in, struck out 2 batters in a row.
Double kill.
And sent it to the bottom of the 8th, where Volpe led off with another single, his second hit of the game. That put his average up over 230. He's at 230 right now, 706 OPS. I believe that's the highest it's been at the end of a baseball game this year, but I could be wrong. Maybe early on in the season, first couple of games before he had 10 at-bats. But again, impressive for Volpe. Also, he stole second and third base, so he's 10 for 10 in stolen base attempts. And then DJ followed up with another single to make it 4-2. DG says he complains about his back all the time, but still nobody will pay him $22 million. And then Ian says, food for thought, this is the lineup and offense without Judge. Just imagine if we hadn't re-signed him. Excellent comments, guys. Also, super chat from Jack Wells. Appreciate that. Mike King stayed in there for the ninth, spared us having to watch Clay Holmes and the Yankees take the game and even the series. All right, while the music is playing, I usually just get a quick feel for the comments of who you guys think should win the belt. Tonight, there were a lot of candidates. So, Gerrit Cole had a gutsy performance, but I don't think it was a belt-worthy performance. It was solid. He kept us in the game. Bader coming back, probably a little bit ahead of schedule. The thought was he might play a few more games this week, but he came back and got right in the lineup. Went 1 for 4, made a really nice catch, so he's a candidate. And then Calhoun with a big go-ahead home run. But the man that I think deserves it and I think is getting the most votes in the chat is the man who won it tonight, and that is Mr. Anthony Volpe.
Anthony Volpe, a spectacular OG.
Huge game for him. He can win the ball game for you in a lot of little different ways. I mean, obviously running on the bases, swinging the bat with the home run, picking it on D. He's a heads-up player. I like the kid more and more every day. So, really nice game for him. And Andrew wanted 2 belts, Volpe and Calhoun. Not a 2-belt kind of night. Calhoun, I do have to say, he has mostly been terrible with the Yankees. He's hitting .222. He's got a OPS of .561. But, it's nice to see him come through in a big spot. Maybe that gets him going. Maybe it's been just a little bit of pressure adjusting back to the major leagues. First home run in the major leagues in about a year. So finally, we get back in the W column. Bernie Cerrito says, is Jake Bauers hurt still? He is on the injured list, so we won't see him for 10 days, at least. I don't know how bad the injury is, and I also don't know if he's going to come back to the major leagues when he's back, just because Bader is back and that roster spot may have been filled. So we'll see. Wayne Wilcox says, Cabrera has regressed, looks lost at the plate. I got to say, I kind of agree. He was 1 for 3 tonight, but he's hitting .198 with a .504 OPS. You've really got to get better production out of a corner outfielder. Now, you can write off a slow start. A lot of guys have a slow April. But he's got to start hitting in the next, I'd say, week to 10 days. You got to start hitting, or you're going to start losing at bats. Now, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of other options to go to. Aaron Hicks, I mean, we all know about Aaron Hicks.
He can't hit for nothing.
But they keep having to run him out there. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. Jack Wells says, you see what putting the ball in play, good pitching, and stealing bases does? That's the winning formula.
Bing.
And another, Louis says, Volpe with the belt, 2 stolen bases, home run, 2 hits, speed. Oh, like Mickey from Rocky. Speed. I don't know if I got the cadence right, but I do remember what you're talking about. When he's chasing the chicken, right? Chasing the chicken. So, this was a fun one. This was another quick. Actually, it wasn't that quick. What is it, 9:56? So about, 2 hours and 30 some odd minutes. We've been about 2:15 to 2:20 the last few days. The pitch clock has definitely made the games move on a little bit quicker. I kind of like it. Parkson says Hicks has a 10 OPS. How is that possible? And Mike D says Hicks's OPS is so low, it's not even on MLB stats. Yikes. All right, let's take a look at that box score for tonight. So rarely that we get to look at a box score anymore where the Yankees have more runs than their opponents. That's called a win. In case you guys forgot, it's been a while. No Pressure says Oswaldo is a great option off the bench. Never thought he was a left field solution long term. So we got Volpe, 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of ribbies and an RBI, a couple of stolen bases. Torres, 1 for 4. Rizzo, 2 for 4. LeMahieu, 1 for 4. Bader, 1 for 4. Calhoun, 1 for 4. So you got a lot of guys picking up hits tonight. 9 hits for the Yankees. Hicks, of course, 0 for 3. Hitting 146 with a 358 OPS. That's unbelievably bad. That's unbelievably bad. And then Mike King with 1 2/3 of scoreless baseball to close it out. He's got a 1.56 ERA. You look at the ERAs tonight, those are some sparkling numbers. 1.35 for Cole. That whip is under 1, so he allows less than a base runner per 9. 0.97 whip for Marinaccio, who I'm obligated to say is from Toms River, New Jersey. Peralta, 1.32 whip. Nice to see him bounce back a little bit. He did give up a hit tonight, but got a couple of outs. He walked in the winning run last night. Not sure if I mentioned that with all the shenanigans that were going on. All right, let's see here. Tabor Talk says, Mike King supplanting Holmes as the closer. Makes sense, right? You know what's interesting about Mike King is he can give you multiple innings. So he might be, if you choose to go with him as the closer, he might be that Mariano Rivera type of closer who can give you the last 6 outs. One of the things that made Mariano so great, especially during like the 98, 99 season, and we'll talk about 98 in a minute because I just started on Jack's book and it's great. So, you know, Rivera would come in and pitch the 8th and the 9th, and the Kitten's a little bit less pissed off tonight. And that essentially shortened the game. It put a ton of pressure on teams to score earlier in the game because you weren't getting anything off of Rivera. Now, the problem with King is that he has broken down a lot in the past. He's one of those guys who is just kind of injury prone. And you don't know if he can do it night in and night out like a closer should be able to do. So, you know, I guess we got to just wait and see what happens. Might be one of those situations where they kind of play it by ear, go with the matchup each night. But I don't, as I said last night, and I still stand by this, I don't want Holmes anywhere near a close game. Edwin NG says, Knicks winning by 6. That's probably from 5 minutes ago, so it's probably over by now. Brett Deutsch says he would still run Oswaldo Cabrera every day in left field over Hicks. I agree. Random Stuff says, Derek, are you a Carolina Hurricanes fan? I'm in general not a hockey fan. I like to go to hockey games. I've been to a couple of Carolina Hurricanes games, and it's exciting. I've never been to a Islanders or a Rangers game. Never been to a Devils game. Carolina is the only pro game that I've been to, and it's a fun atmosphere. I don't know what the hell's going on. A lot of guys with strange names moving around really fast on the ice, but I don't really know much else about it. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Robert Ryan says, okay, guys and gals, who's worse, Hicks or IKF? Oh, man. Kyle Gustafson says 7-0 in games started by Cole, 9-15 in games started by everyone else. Look, that's what your ace is supposed to do. Your ace is supposed to be reliable. Now, we're not going to go undefeated in his starts, but the fact that he is not giving up home runs, I really think he's got a chance to win the Cy Young Award this year because you're not going to put together huge rallies off of him. Tonight's about as bad as his control ever gets, unless it's like, 20 degrees in, where is it? Detroit. I don't know if you guys remember that game. Slowest game in the history of baseball. It took about an hour to get through the first inning. Nobody could throw strikes. Anyway, Aaron Rich says, Volpe giving me serious Jeter vibes, the way he talks, or the way he takes the ball the other way, just like Jeter, and the baseball IQ saving Peralta by that snagging play.
Absolutely. Hey.
Appreciate the dono. I do like the inside-out swing. We've seen him go to right field a lot, but we also saw him turn on the ball and drive it to left field tonight. Yesterday or the day before, I can't remember which, he hit a fly ball to the warning track in left center. I think it was 2 days ago. Came up about 3 or 4 feet short. I feel like as he gets stronger, that's a pitch that he's going to drive 450. He's got a really high launch angle a lot of times, and he's strong enough that he can hit it out down the lines. In the gaps and in center field, I think he needs a little bit more club in his bag at this point, but he'll get there.
Game over.
Man, that felt good. I don't think I dropped any F-bombs today. William M. says, salute! I go to work with a bad back every day. We'll drink to your legs.
You gotta go.
Tabor says he was
Most impressive.
nervous when Cole dove for that squibbler. There was a little slow dribbler up the right side, and he kind of did a slide for it, and he stuck in the ground like a lawn dart, and still threw the ball away, but he stayed in the game. But yeah, that was a little scary. Andrew Calabria says, how is Schmidt still on the team? Is he the one that's pitching tomorrow? I'm not sure who's pitching tomorrow. I didn't see they usually put up an advertisement during the game of the pitching matchup, but I wasn't really, Oh man, Schmidt versus Bieber. Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Not looking good, guys. But, it's baseball. You never know how it will play out. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and root for the home team. Oh, this one felt a lot easier to do tonight than last night. I definitely raged out last night, but I felt like it was deserved, and I felt like it was needed, and I felt like it was a sentiment that was echoed in the comments. And I usually don't put on that kind of a display of rage and profanity. And to those of you who didn't like it, I'm sorry. It's a rare occurrence on the show. But for those of you who did like it, you get a few of those per season. So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have another one.
Hey, everybody. If you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member.
Join us.
It's $5. And members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.